paper. You'll need a pencil and a ruler, a scissors, and a knife. I use a scalpel, an X-Acto blade will be just fine, and working on a cutting mat. So starting with that, 6x16 sheet of paper. This is a one-page book structure. I'm just going to fold that in half. I often do these 2-4-8 accordion folds. I'm folding that in half. I didn't mention a bone folder, but since my paper is a little bit thick, that might come in handy. And we fold in from the edge right up against the crease to the middle. Fold that down. And the same on the other side, folding right up against that crease. I use this fold all the time for accordions because it's the easiest way to get an equal sections of accordion. So we're taking one of those middle sections. There's my 4 accordion. I'm taking a middle section and putting the 2 creases together there. Just lining them up exactly. There's the piece that I'm creasing in the middle. So I get that crease done. That piece is now halved. And I'll do the same thing with the other section, the other middle section. Just line up those 2 creases that we've already made. Line them up precisely and give that a good fold. Kind of hard to see because the piece that you're folding is hidden behind the larger sections. That's good. Now I'm going to take this edge, and instead of bringing it to the fold like I did before, which that's a great way to do it, I'm going to bring it to this fold. Doesn't matter, it still gives us the half. It's just that this will create the accordion that I want to end up with. If I did it the other way, I'd have to reverse the fold. So I'm doing the same thing on the other end, just bringing it to line up with the nearby fold. Okay, so there you have my 8-section accordion. Now what I'm going to do is flip that over, and I'm starting from one edge, and from now on I'm going to be referring to 4 sections of the accordion. So these first 2 do not get any markings on them at this stage. The next 2 sections, I'm going to mark a line 1/2 inch from the bottom edge. So I'm using my clear rulers because it's cool that I can see through it. And I'm going from that crease, the second section, clear across to the next crease. Just 1/2 inch from the bottom edge. Just draw a line there. On the next 2 sections, I'm drawing a line 1 inch from the bottom edge. You can find 1 inch on my ruler. There it is. Right across from crease to crease, like so. And on the last section, it's a full 1.5 inches. So this is what makes the gradiated pages, why they get smaller. So there I've got 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches marked off. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to mirror what's on the opposite side. So this section here gets the 1.5 inch line, doing exactly what's opposite it on the opposite edge. So it's 1.5 inches there, 1 inch on the next one. It's there, and 1/2 inch on that next to the last section. Oops, 1/2 inch. Okay. Now we're going to cut along those lines. I'm going to carefully cut, and this is across the first 2 sections. I'm just cutting on the line that I just made. When I get to the crease, I'm going to cut along the crease and cut that section out, cutting that piece away. And on to the next section, the 1 inch section. Cutting that away. Again, right along the crease. Taking that piece off. And the last 1/2 inch section. Cutting right in the crease there to cut off that 1/2 inch piece. So there's one side done. Now, same thing on the opposite side. If you're making a smaller book, you might want to decrease the sizes of the section. For example, if you were making a 3-inch mini book, instead of starting with a 1/2 inch, you would start with 1/4 inch, and then your next one would be a 1/2 inch, and the next one would be 3/4 inch. Because if you did a 1/2 inch on a 3-inch book, if you started with a 1/2 inch, by the time you got to 1.5 inches on each side, you wouldn't have any page left. So this book really lends itself to different sizes and different measurements. Okay, that's what I've got. It looks like it's 4 sections going from smaller to larger. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to open one of these books up and just kind of show you the magic of it. Here it is, all opened up, and where the slits are. So the largest section has a slit. The next largest has a slit right in the middle of the 2 segments. See that? And this one also has a slit. But the last one, the smallest segment, there's no slit there. Okay, so the way we're going to get those slits is we're going to take the smallest section and those 2 panels and fold it over on top of the next largest section and just make a mark right in the middle, right on the crease at the top and bottom edges of that smallest section. My hand right out of the way. So here in the crease at the top of the section and right on the crease in the bottom of the section. We're just going to make 2 pencil marks there. Now we're going to fold over that second section, the second largest one, second smallest one, and do the same thing on the next panel, right in the middle, right at the crease, at the top edge and the bottom edge. Right there, we're going to make 2 little marks. Same thing on the largest section, folding it over, I've got all this laying out here, and we're just making a mark right on the crease, top edge and bottom edge. Now we're going to connect those dots with a slit. So I'm using my ruler again and the metal edge and my scalpel, and I'm just lining that up right on the crease there and cutting right in between my two dots. So right there, there's my first slit on the largest section. Next one, same thing. Lining it up right on that middle crease, right slit between my two dots, and the third section gets the same treatment. Very nice. So I've got 3 slits. That last segment, those 2 don't get cut at all. But we are going to start with that. So we're going to start with the smallest section, and we're going to weave it through the largest slit, or the largest segment. Through that segment, push the second segment, push all that through, coming out the other side until I can't go anymore. I've got this folded down. There. This is the edge, the largest segment. Okay, stay with me now. I'm going to flip the whole thing over. Okay, I'm just getting the bottom side on the opposite side. So I was here, I had just pushed it through. It's the last segment, and I'm just turning it over, pulling that out. Okay, what I want to do is find the space where the next slit goes through. You see that little piece that's down there? I'm folding that closed. And right under there, right next to that, is where the slit is, right there. And that's where I'm going to take this smallest edge again and put it right through that slit. It's the same motion. We only have to do it 3 times. It goes right under like that. And then I'm gonna close this and bring that over to the other side. And there it is. There's the last slit. I'm going in that last slit. Only one section can go through this time, so we don't have anything hanging out. Close that around, bring that smallest piece back there, and then bring the largest piece from behind and fold it over the top, and this back side becomes the cover. So when you open the book, you see the smallest page first, and also notice that it's a single. The cover is a single piece. The first page, the smallest piece, is a single piece, and the next page is doubled because it's folded over, and you've got some of the back side showing on the top and bottom, all the way to the back of the book. Okay,